Noah Grayson was an unassuming food chemist living a life of quiet experimentation in the Pacific Northwest. His days were filled with concocting new recipes, analyzing flavor compounds, and tinkering with his antique oven. That is, until the Intergalactic Culinary Federation (ICFA) Pan-Galactic Authority on Food and Beverage Safety declared Earth's food unfit for consumption by alien species. It began with an unceremonious broadcast beamed across the globe. A holographic projection of a four-armed, six-eyed alien named Drezig appeared in the sky. Drezig had an imperious voice that echoed with the authority of 1,000 judges. Ascension. Inhabitants of Earth. The Intergalactic Culinary Federation has conducted extensive testing on your foodstuffs. We regret to inform you that Earth cuisine has been deemed inedible and will henceforth be excluded from all galactic trade. Further offerings of Earth food to extraterrestrials will be punishable by sanctions. Panic gripped the planet, but not for the reasons Drezig might have expected. Earth wasn't concerned about losing galactic trade. Humanity didn't even know the galaxy was open for commerce. What worried people like Noah Grayson was the monumental insult to human ingenuity. After all, food was humanity's pride and joy, a testament to culture and creativity. The idea that someone, even an alien, could dismiss it as inedible was sacrilege. Noah, however, had more immediate concerns. He owned a small cafe and bakery in the heart of Seattle, where his signature chocolate cake drew a steady crowd of locals. Business plummeted after Drezig's announcement. Customers grumbled about the loss of galactic prestige while eyeing their desserts with suspicion. The thought gnawed at Noah: what could possibly make our food so offensive? 3 weeks later, the answer arrived in the form of Klozar, a gangly diplomat from the ICF, who descended upon Earth with his entourage. Standing at 8 feet tall, with translucent skin that shimmered like a soap bubble, Klozar was an unsettling sight, but his demeanor was polite. "We have been summoned," Klozar announced during a hastily arranged press conference in New York, "to clarify our decision. Earth's food is biologically incompatible with most known species. It is excessively spiced, improperly balanced, and appallingly sweet." This revelation stung Noah more than he expected. "Appallingly sweet," he muttered to his cat, Waffles, as they watched the conference unfold on TV. "What kind of world would we be if we didn't have desserts?" Noah couldn't let it stand. He resolved to prove to the galaxy that Earth's food wasn't just edible, it was extraordinary. With his scientific background and an experimental streak that bordered on reckless, he hatched a plan to create the perfect dish, one that could transcend species and sensibilities. He started with bread, a universal staple. Noah worked tirelessly in his bakery laboratory, tweaking the recipe to reduce the gluten, eliminate potential allergens, and modify the yeast to a strain that would ferment without creating compounds offensive to alien biochemistry. The result was underwhelming. It resembled a beige sponge with the flavor of damp air. He moved on to soups, then savory dishes. Each time, the alien flavor analyzers rejected his offerings with mechanical disdain. Noah was on the verge of giving up when a chance encounter changed everything. The ambassador of the Zalorian Collective, a race of jelly-like beings with an affinity for earthy aromas, wandered into Noah's cafe on a rainy Tuesday. His name was Flubex, and he was oddly fascinated by the idea of baked goods, despite the ICF's dire warnings. "Your food," Flubex burbled, his gelatinous form wobbling with every syllable, "is an affront to our palates. Yet I cannot suppress my curiosity." Flubex ordered a single slice of chocolate cake, Noah's signature recipe, rich and decadent, with a secret blend of 3 chocolates. The ambassador sniffed the cake suspiciously before extending a gelatinous tendril to taste it. The reaction was immediate. Flubex convulsed, his form rippling like a stone tossed into a pond. "Oh no," Noah whispered, certain he had poisoned an intergalactic dignitary. But to his astonishment, Flubex stabilized and let out a sound that could only be described as a giggle. It's Flubex paused, his gelatin quivering. "Delicious." News of the cake spread faster than Noah could comprehend. Flubex, ignoring the ICF's stern warnings, uploaded a video of himself devouring the cake. Alien species from across the galaxy tuned in, marveling at his ecstatic expressions. Klozar was less than pleased. "This is a gross violation of intergalactic protocol," he thundered when reporters pressed him for comment. Yet the damage was done. By the time Klozar reached Noah's cafe, a line of aliens stretched around the block, eager to try the now infamous chocolate cake. "This madness must stop," Klozar declared, barging into Noah's kitchen. "Try a piece," Noah countered, thrusting a plate toward the alien diplomat. Klozar hesitated. "I cannot." "You're here to evaluate Earth's food, aren't you? Consider it. Research." Klozar reluctantly relented. He took a cautious bite, his expression unreadable as the flavors unfolded. Finally, he set the fork down with a dignified nod. "It is tolerable," Klozar admitted, though the slight twitch in his translucent cheek suggested he was holding back a more enthusiastic response. As word of the cake's universal appeal spread, Noah became an accidental celebrity. His cafe transformed into a bustling intergalactic hub, where species from across the galaxy gathered to experience the culinary marvel. Yet the ICF refused to lift its ban, citing the broader incompatibility of Earth's cuisine. Noah wasn't satisfied. He knew he had only scratched the surface of what human food could achieve. With Flubex and a growing coalition of dessert-loving aliens at his side, Noah set out to challenge the ICF's decision on a galactic stage. The Intergalactic Culinary Federation wasn't accustomed to being challenged, least of all by a human baker wielding a chocolate cake. Yet, Noah Grayson's culinary masterpiece had created a galactic ripple effect that even the ICF couldn't ignore. Flubex, the Zalorian ambassador, spearheaded a movement among dessert enthusiasts across the galaxy, pressuring the Federation to reevaluate Earth's status as a food-producing planet. Eventually, under mounting public scrutiny, the ICF agreed to host a dessert diplomacy summit. The summit would be a taste-testing event held on a neutral space station, where representatives from various species could formally assess Earth's culinary worth. Noah was invited to present his creations, a rare honor for any human and an even rarer opportunity to redeem Earth's reputation. The journey to the station was fraught with challenges. Noah was accompanied by Flubex and an eclectic crew of intergalactic dessert aficionados who had volunteered to assist him. Among them was Tibix, a diminutive rodent-like creature with an unparalleled sense of smell, and Juval, a towering insectoid with claws delicate enough to handle the finest pastry work. They had become his makeshift sous chefs and moral support. The first hurdle came in the form of transporting the ingredients. Chocolate, sugar, and flour were classified as chemical curiosities by galactic customs officials, who insisted on running exhaustive scans. One overzealous officer nearly confiscated the cocoa powder, declaring it a potentially explosive particulate. "Do I look like I'm building a bomb?" Noah exclaimed, exasperated. "You look like you're hiding something delicious," Flubex murmured, attempting to placate the officer with a blob-like grin. Eventually, they cleared customs and arrived at the summit's venue, a glittering station orbiting the gas giant Zornex 5. The station's grand banquet hall was a dazzling spectacle, with shimmering walls that refracted light like a prism and floating platforms for species without legs. The summit opened with speeches from the ICF officials, including Drezig, who was still visibly perturbed by Earth's persistent culinary defenders. "We are here to determine whether Earth's food possesses merit beyond its infamous incompatibility," Drezig intoned. "This is not an endorsement, but an opportunity for clarification." Noah wasn't the only participant. Other species had brought their finest chefs to compete in a show of culinary superiority. There was the Crofin delegation, known for their gelatin-based confections that wobbled in impossible geometric patterns, and the Rixon chefs, who specialized in edible crystal formations. When Noah's turn arrived, he felt the weight of 100 alien eyes or their equivalents bearing down on him. He presented his piece de resistance, the chocolate cake. But this wasn't just any cake. He had spent sleepless nights perfecting the recipe, adjusting the cocoa's acidity, modifying the sugar balance, and even integrating edible nanotech to adapt the flavors to individual palates. It was a gamble, but he knew he had to aim high. Klozar, the ICF representative who had once declared Earth's food tolerable, took the first bite. His translucent face remained inscrutable, but the faint shimmer around his edges betrayed an emotional reaction. This is Klozar paused, struggling for words. Unprecedented. The reactions from the other delegates were equally dramatic. The Crofan chef attempted to discredit the cake by claiming its richness was a biological assault, while a Zalorian judge declared it a revelation. Even Drezig, ever the skeptic, conceded that the cake had a curious allure. Despite the overwhelmingly positive feedback, the ICF was hesitant to reverse its decision. Drezig argued that one exceptional dessert could not compensate for the overall incompatibility of Earth's food. Our criteria encompass all categories of cuisine, not just desserts, he declared, and Earth remains deficient. Noah was undeterred. Then let's settle this with a cook-off, he challenged. One dish, any category, judged blindly. If my food isn't the best, I'll withdraw Earth's petition for reconsideration. The room erupted in murmurs. A cook-off was unprecedented in ICF history, but the idea captured the collective imagination of the attendees. Drezig reluctantly agreed. The contest was set for the following day. Noah and his team worked through the night, brainstorming a dish that could stand up to the alien competitors. After much deliberation, they settled on a fusion approach, a savory-sweet hybrid inspired by Earth's diverse culinary traditions. The final dish was a spiced mole sauce paired with a corn-based pastry, topped with a drizzle of chocolate reduction. The cook-off was a spectacle. The Crofan chefs unveiled a gelatin tower infused with bioluminescent algae, while the Rixen presented an edible crystal sculpture that emitted melodic tones when bitten. Noah's dish, though humble in appearance, exuded an aroma that turned heads even among species without traditional olfactory senses. The judging was intense. Each delegate sampled the dishes in silence, their reactions carefully observed. When the results were announced, a hush fell over the room. The Earth dish, Klozar announced, is the winner. The decision sent shockwaves through the summit. Delegates who had dismissed Earth's food as inferior were forced to reconsider their prejudices. Drezig, though visibly displeased, begrudgingly announced that the ICF would lift its ban on Earth's cuisine, starting with desserts. Noah returned to Earth a hero, his chocolate cake hailed as a symbol of humanity's ingenuity. His cafe became a global landmark, and his recipe was immortalized in the annals of galactic culinary history. Yet for all the fame and accolades, Noah remained the same unassuming baker, content to tinker with recipes and serve his loyal customers, alien and human alike. Flubex, ever the connoisseur, continued to visit, bringing new alien friends to experience the wonders of Earth's food. "You've done something remarkable," he told Noah one evening over a fresh slice of cake. "You've shown the galaxy that sometimes the simplest things can bring us together." And as Noah watched the diverse patrons in his cafe, laughing and savoring his creations, he couldn't help but agree. With the ICF's ban lifted, the galaxy's appetite for Earth's culinary creations exploded. Alien visitors flocked to Earth not just for chocolate cake, but to sample the full spectrum of human gastronomy. From tacos to sushi, every dish became an opportunity for intergalactic exchange. Restaurants adapted to the influx of alien diners, offering menus that catered to species with wildly different tastes, textures, and dietary requirements. Noah's cafe, however, remained a cornerstone of this burgeoning cultural fusion. His small shop in Seattle was transformed into an interstellar landmark, affectionately nicknamed the Chocolate Embassy by his alien patrons. Flubex and his entourage often acted as unofficial greeters, cheerfully explaining Earth customs to newcomers. Noah wasn't content to rest on his laurels. While chocolate cake had opened the door, he saw an opportunity to showcase Earth's full culinary diversity. He started experimenting with new recipes, combining human techniques with alien ingredients. One day he unveiled a galactic-inspired souffle infused with a tangy blue extract from Zalorian swamp berries, much to Flubex's delight. On another he served a spiced stew that incorporated lintax pollen, a staple for the insectoid Juval's people. The experiments weren't always successful. A batch of cookies baked with Hilarion crystal sugar caused a minor incident when it emitted a high-pitched hum that disoriented patrons, and a pudding made with Sorkian marshroot turned into a sentient blob that tried to escape the kitchen. Despite the occasional misstep, Noah's creations were celebrated as innovative and daring. His cafe became a hub of cross-species dialogue, where diners from all corners of the galaxy bonded over the shared joy of food. For Noah, it was proof that a good meal could bridge even the widest divides. Inspired by the success of Noah's Cafe, the Zalorian collective proposed an official Intergalactic Culinary Festival, a week-long celebration of food and culture. The ICF reluctantly agreed, provided the event adhered to strict safety regulations. Flubex eagerly volunteered Noah to lead Earth's delegation, a responsibility he accepted with a mix of pride and trepidation. The festival was held on the lush, arboreal planet of Zethenia, whose sprawling bioluminescent forests provided a stunning backdrop. Chefs from across the galaxy set up booths and pavilions, each showcasing their planet's most beloved dishes. The air buzzed with the mingling aromas of roasted Helgari fungi, simmering Rixin nectar soup, and sizzling Earth-style barbecue. Noah's team worked tirelessly to prepare their offerings. They decided on a menu that highlighted Earth's culinary versatility: a savory course of Indian-inspired curries, a seafood spread featuring Mediterranean flavors, and of course a dessert finale starring the now famous chocolate cake. The festival drew massive crowds, with alien visitors queuing for hours to sample Earth's food. The chocolate cake, in particular, caused a sensation. Drezig himself, still skeptical despite his earlier concession, was spotted discreetly enjoying a slice. The festival wasn't just about food, it was a catalyst for deeper connections. Delegates from different species began sharing more than just recipes. A Crofan chef traded notes with a human about fermentation techniques, while a Zalorian ambassador taught Noah the art of creating edible bioluminescent decorations. Noah found himself drawn into conversations that ranged from the philosophical how food shapes identity and culture to the deeply practical, like how to neutralize the volatile enzymes in Hilarion crystal sugar. Every interaction reinforced his belief in the power of food to foster understanding. Toward the end of the festival, Noah was invited to participate in a panel discussion titled The Universal Language of Flavor, sitting alongside chefs and diplomats from a dozen species. He spoke about humanity's unique relationship with food. Cooking is how we share our stories, Noah said. It's how we celebrate, how we comfort, and how we connect. And when we break bread with someone, even if they come from a planet millions of light years away, we're saying, "You're welcome here." The audience erupted in applause, a sound that reverberated across species and frequencies. Not everyone was thrilled with Earth's growing culinary influence. A faction within the ICF, led by a stern-faced bureaucrat named Merzak, argued that Earth was corrupting galactic taste with its unorthodox flavors. Merzak, a traditionalist to the core, believed that Earth's success threatened the delicate balance of the galaxy's culinary traditions. Merzak's opposition culminated in a formal complaint. He accused Noah and his team of culinary overreach and demanded that Earth's status be reevaluated. The ICF reluctantly scheduled a hearing to address the matter, throwing a shadow over the festival's success. Noah, unshaken, decided to tackle the challenge head-on. "If they want to put Earth's food on trial," he told Flubex, "then I'll give them a defense they'll never forget." The hearing was held on a massive orbital station, with Merzak and his allies seated on one side and Noah's delegation on the other. The proceedings were a blend of courtroom drama and culinary demonstration, with evidence presented in the form of holographic projections and live taste tests. Merzak launched a scathing critique, accusing Earth's food of being biochemically chaotic and excessively indulgent. He called witnesses who claimed that human cuisine was destabilizing galactic dietary norms. Noah, however, was prepared. He presented a compelling argument that Earth's food wasn't a threat but a gift, a testament to humanity's ability to adapt and innovate. To drive the point home, he unveiled a new creation, a galactic fusion dessert that combined elements from 5 different alien cuisines. The dessert was a hit, even among Mirzak's staunchest supporters. In the end, the tribunal ruled in favor of Earth. The decision was met with cheers and applause, and even Mirzak grudgingly admitted that the dessert was not entirely unpalatable. With Earth's culinary reputation firmly secured, Noah returned home to a hero's welcome. His cafe continued to thrive, serving as a symbol of humanity's resilience and creativity. He remained humble, always crediting his success to the team of humans and aliens who had supported him along the way. As the sun set over Seattle one evening, Noah sat on the cafe's rooftop terrace with Flubex and a few other friends. They shared slices of chocolate cake, laughing and reminiscing about their journey. "You've changed the galaxy," Noah Flubex said, his voice warm with admiration. Noah smiled. "All I wanted was to bake a good cake. The rest, that's just icing on top." And so, Earth's place in the galactic culinary scene was secured, one slice of chocolate cake at a time. Noah's chocolate cake might have been the spark, but its legacy ignited a revolution in intergalactic gastronomy. Earth became a culinary destination, with chefs, scientists, and food enthusiasts pouring into the planet to learn the secrets behind its flavorful success. Cities like Paris, Tokyo, and New York became interstellar hubs for food tourism, while even smaller towns saw an influx of alien visitors eager to try the local cuisine. Noah's cafe, however, remained a modest operation. Despite the fame, he refused to expand into a sprawling franchise, insisting that food tasted best when made with care and passion. "Mass-producing joy just doesn't feel right," he often said. Instead, he poured his energy into mentoring young chefs, both human and alien, who came to him for inspiration. The triumph of Earth's cuisine led to the formation of the Galactic Culinary Exchange, a council dedicated to fostering interspecies collaboration in the culinary arts. Noah was named an honorary chair, a position that came with invitations to exotic planets where he could sample alien dishes and share Earth's culinary treasures. On one such trip, Noah visited Glorath Prime, a water-covered planet inhabited by a species of amphibious beings called the Solani. Their cuisine revolved around fermented kelp and bioluminescent plankton. Inspired by their traditions, Noah created a dish that combined Solani seaweed paste with Earth's basil and garlic, resulting in a galactic variation of pesto that became an instant hit. Another visit took him to the volcanic planet Yorthia, where the inhabitants thrived on heat-resistant tubers and fiery spices. Noah worked with local chefs to develop a dessert that incorporated Earth's mangoes and their native fire fruit, creating a tart that perfectly balanced sweetness and spice. As Noah's reputation grew, he was approached by a publishing collective to compile a cookbook that would document the incredible journey of Earth's cuisine into the stars. The project became a collaborative effort, with contributions from chefs across the galaxy who had been inspired by Noah's work. The cookbook, titled Flavors of the Cosmos, Earth and Beyond, became an instant bestseller. It featured recipes like the Galactic Chocolate Fusion Cake, Zalurian Swampberry Souffle, and Firefruit Mango Tart, along with anecdotes about Noah's adventures and the friendships he had forged. To celebrate its release, Noah hosted a grand banquet at his cafe, inviting friends from across the galaxy. The event was a joyous affair, with tables spilling over with dishes from countless worlds. As the evening wore on, Flubex raised a gelatinous tendril to propose a toast. "To Noah," Flubex began, his voice wobbling with emotion, "whose kindness and creativity have shown us that the greatest ingredients are not in our kitchens, but in our willingness to share." The room erupted in cheers, and Noah found himself blinking back tears. As the years passed, Noah remained at the heart of Earth's culinary renaissance. Though offers to franchise his cafe or host galactic cooking shows flooded in, he politely declined. "I just want to bake," he'd say, smiling as he adjusted his flour-dusted apron. His cafe became more than just a restaurant. It was a meeting place, a cultural crossroads where beings from every corner of the galaxy could sit together over a slice of cake or a bowl of soup and realize they had more in common than they ever imagined. One quiet afternoon, as Noah kneaded dough in the back of his cafe, a Zolorian family walked in, their translucent forms shimmering with excitement. They ordered slices of chocolate cake, and as they sat down to eat, the youngest Zolorian turned to Noah. "Is it true," the child asked, "that this cake saved your planet?" Noah chuckled, wiping his hands on his apron. "It didn't save the planet," he replied, "but it did remind us and the galaxy that something small, something simple, can make a big difference." As the family savored their cake, Noah looked out the window, watching the bustling streets of Seattle filled with humans and aliens alike. The world and the galaxy had changed in ways he never could have imagined. And all because he refused to let his chocolate cake go uneaten. Though Noah's story began with a simple declaration that human food was inedible, it ended with a galaxy united by the universal language of flavor. Earth became known not just for its cuisine, but for its ability to turn rejection into opportunity and its capacity to create joy in the unlikeliest of places. And somewhere in a quiet corner of Seattle, in a cozy cafe with a hand-painted sign that read Grayson's Bakery, the story continued. For as long as there were cakes to bake, flavors to discover, and friends to share them with, Noah Grayson was exactly where he wanted to be.